My name is Richard Wollicott. I'm Vice President of Hilferty and Associates. We are exclusively a museum and exhibit planning firm. We don't build. All we do is design. And we are situated on a 110-acre horse farm in southeastern Ohio. It was one of the company's first jobs was the Kentucky Derby Museum and the Kentucky Horse Park. And Jerry, our owner, realized shortly after doing that he had never been on a horse. And so he and his wife went out and bought a couple of horses, and we now are on a farm with 15 Pasafinos, and it's an idyllic setting. You can see out the window here that it's just all hills and rolling hills. It's truly farm country down here, horse country. But we're sitting in our conference room. This is where we bring clients. Frequently have to close the window blinds because the distractions are great with the deer, and we have a nesting pair of red hawks, and it's an amazing spot to work. Finding, the right client, getting their story, and finding the best way to interpret that story and make it understandable. And sometimes very complex ideas, making them very understandable for the general public. We normally have between 15 to 18 people on staff. We have people with theater backgrounds who come to us from set design and lighting. We have graphic designers, we have interior designers, we have architects, we've got engineers, someone with specifications background, being able to write specs. We have writers, developers, people who actually research the story. We have a full-time librarian on staff who does nothing but pull research for our developers. It's an eclectic mix. And that's where the ideas come from. It's interesting because there is almost no program in the country right now to learn museum design. And so what we do is pull from all of the various design disciplines to get people together. Every team we have in-house is made up of an exhibit designer who might have an architectural or a theater background, a graphic designer, and a developer. That's our core team. And it's the interplay of those three coming up with ideas from the various disciplines, coming up with dimensional ideas, two-dimensional ideas, interactive ideas. We've got a graphic designer who's got truly a great love of children's pop-up books and translating some of those elements into exhibit elements so that you open and things move. That's the kind of interactivity that most museums are looking for. We're no longer things in cases. Nobody wants that anymore. Now it has to be interactive because they're fighting for the entertainment dollar. That's what museums are right now. And so to get someone in there, someone who is really interested, you've got to create an offering that they'll get nowhere else. So it's always a mix of audio-visual, computer interactive, hands-on interactives, great content in really dynamic settings. And so that's the kind of thing that that we put together. It's a really beautiful project. It's a fairly small cultural preserve. It's both a natural and cultural history preserve. So they want to talk about natural history. They want to talk about the flora and fauna and the ecology of this island off of Tampa. But it also was the home of a native tribe, an ancient American tribe, that no one claims as ancestors, the Whedon people. And the interesting thing about that is the fact that almost every Native American tribe out there has an ancestral claim. So when you find Native American artifacts, there is the NAGPRA rule, that's the Repatriation Act, where if you found them, they go back to the Native American tribe. It's cultural artifacts. Well, the Smithsonian did a huge dig there and found tremendous pottery and artifacts But since no one claims them, this stuff is all just residing in the Smithsonian. The other interesting thing about not being able to claim an ancestral connection to the Wheaton people is nobody really knows what they looked like. And so we wanted to talk about natural history and talk about the ecology of the island, but we wanted to talk about it through the effect of the human footprint on the landscape. And so we start with the Wheaton people. But because we can't show them, because no one knows what they look like, and we didn't want to guess, we did it all with projected shadows. So all throughout the exhibit space, we shot a group of actors in sort of what we would estimate would be Native American costume, but we shot them against a green screen. And then, so we're just projecting shadows of people doing daily life within the environment. So it's all just the shadow of the human footprint on the landscape. So you can see how people would have worked and interacted, but you don't see the people. You're seeing the shadow of the people across the land, which is a really interesting way of getting that idea across. And it was very effective. I think it worked really well.